I understand the rat and all that. I understand everybody saying that because if I was in that lifestyle, you said it against me.
Yeah.
So I said it against Sammy Gravano and other guys that ratted. So I believe that I don't knock that because that's what they're supposed to think of me.
Yeah.
My name is Robert Borelli, and this is my story. God saved my life, and He can do the same for you.
I told my kids, when I die, not bury me with my grandparents, I'm so still guilt-ridden that I think my father's so mad at me that I don't want to get buried with him. I told my kids to bury me with my grandparents.
All right. Well, okay.
I don't know how you feel that operated.
Listen, I understand the rat and all that. I understand everybody saying that because if I was in that lifestyle, you said it against me.
Yeah.
So I said it against Sammy Gravano and other guys that ratted. So I believe that I don't knock that because that's what they're supposed to think of me.
Yeah.
Well, finally, what I say is what the Bible says, the truth shall set you free. So I didn't lie about anybody trying to get anybody convicted or trying to do anything to get more esteem with the government, more favors from the government by giving people up that I really didn't know much about, making up stories.
Yeah.
I just told the truth.
Yeah, me too.
That's all I did. So I don't feel any guilt with that. I really don't feel
I
any
don't
guilt.
feel guilt over anybody except my father. And not guilt, I just know how he felt about cooperating. Like he was so, listen.
But you want to know something? But your dad, back in the way he was raised in that lifestyle, if he would have seen it today, and he had to see it a little bit today.
That's why I cooperated, because they were not Fat Andy. These guys were freaks and out for themselves.
Exactly. And I don't even know how much of that wasn't always like that, to be honest. Well, maybe we just didn't see it because we were surrounded in the, sometimes when you're in the middle of something, you can't see what's going on around you.
Right.
So, but I have no, because look what my life turned out. Look what I'm doing today.
Yeah. When I cooperated, when I forgave you, because I wasn't mad at you. Once I
Listen, if the truth didn't matter. If you would have seen me in the street, you would have killed me.
When I was in the life,
or you would have brought me into the club.
I would have brought you to the club. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Because, but not because I hated you, because that's the way. That was where that was what I had to do. That was the rules.
Exactly.
Right. But when I was in the program, my mother calls me, and she says, "Robert's on TV." I said, "What do you mean Robert's on TV?" She goes, "He was up that 700 Club." She goes, I was watching, she used to watch the 700 Club. She goes, "I'm watching the 700 Club the other night." And she goes, "Robert was on." I said, "Robert?" I said, "Robert?" So now I know, to me, you're Robert from, Robert. Right? I go, "Robert was on the 7, what the hell is he doing on the 700 Club?" So I YouTubed it, and I saw it, and I watched it, and I heard you say, "With the Bible on my chest, with the cell in Rikers Island." And at that point, I let it all go. And then now I'm in Michigan, and I hated living there. I'm in Michigan. My wife kicks me out. Because what happened was, I feel, and I really don't talk about this much, I feel like my family knew what we were doing, but they were in denial about all the violence. Even with my father, my nieces, my cousins, and everybody, Fat Andy was their the apple of their eye. They were in denial. He really did that. Yeah, he really chopped people up. Yeah, he really did. Yeah. And how do I know that? Is because he told me. He used to tell me about murders he committed. That was my father-son conversations. Oh yeah, the first murder I committed was the same like you. The Charlie Wagons took him outside and asked him, "If I asked you to kill somebody without asking any questions, would you do it?" He goes, "Yeah." And he said, the next thing, they picked me up a week later. I got in the car with Charlie and another guy, and I whispered in the guy's ear. And me, like a jerk, I go, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "I whispered in his ear." So now they're in denial of it, you know what I mean? And
but look what we're doing today.
Yeah.
Man. So at least now you feel like you have a purpose and a plan.
Right. Now I'm in Michigan. Now I know what you're up to. I'm in Michigan, and the phone rings. I'm the clear blue sky. I'm miserable. The phone rings, and it's Stevie Sachs. Right? And he tells me, "Listen, I'm running a treatment center in Florida. I just spoke to the owner, and now I'm 60 years old. I have no skills like you.
Right.
I can't even fix a flat to this day. I'm used.
I'm still that way.
Yeah, I don't know how to use this. My father, I don't know how to do nothing.
Right.
No, I don't know how to do the computer. It's Chinese stuff.
And what you know how to do, you don't want to do anymore.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So now he tells me, we think you can make a really good counselor. I said, what counselor? What did I know about counseling? He said, no, with your life experience and everything you overcame, we think you would make a good counselor, but you got to go to school. I go, Stevie, I'm 60 years old. I got to go back to school. He said, think about it. So I prayed on it. I thought about it. I talked to a couple of people in Michigan, and I decided to do it. I got my cat, Mikey the cat, and we drove to Florida, and I went back to school, and I became a counselor. Nobody knew who I was. Nobody knew who I was. Then I get a call. Who called me to tell me you want to do this? JJ calls me and says, Robert wants to talk to you. Yeah. And then I told him, give him my number. And then we started talking.
Yeah.
And then the phone rang again, and it was Johnny A. Light.
Yeah.
And Johnny A. tells me, listen, there's a guy in London that wants to talk to you about putting you in a show. But like, who thought this would ever happen? I go, put me in a show. What are you talking about? He goes, yeah, they're doing a show on National Geographic, and they keep hearing stories about you and your father, and he wants to talk to you. They want to put you in a show. So, you know me, the first thing I said is, you going to pay me? No, I won't, right? Yeah. So I go, is he going to pay me? He goes, yeah, he's going to pay. I said, tell him to call me. So he calls me. This guy, Max Stern, calls me from London, and he tells me, listen, we start talking, and I tell him the car story that John Gotti bought me a car. That was it. Yeah. After I told him that story, he goes, you have to be in the show. So I did the show. Now, but I didn't do it right away. So now I have to reveal myself. Because nobody knew who I was. Only Stevie knew who I was. And we talked, and I decided to do it because I wanted to get my story out there for two reasons. I know I could help somebody, and I wanted to earn money. But it was, and I thought maybe if I got my story out there, I could help somebody and help myself, which is a win-win, right? That's why treatment is a win-win, because I was working in recovery, and I was earning a living doing it. Right. So I decided to do it, and I did the show. I did National Geographic. Narco was drugs, bugs, and the Dapper Don.
Okay.
And that did good. And then I got a manager, and then I got a podcast, and now here we are. I'm talking to you.
You are now watching the Robert Borelli YouTube channel. Forget about it.